Good evening, everybody. My name is Kevin Ross, and I'm the founding chairman of Washington First Robotics. And joining me are Susan Martucci, our volunteer coordinator for Seattle. Say hello, Susan.
Hello.
And Michael Campbell, the regional director for the state of Washington. Say hello, Michael.
Hello, everybody.
There we go. Tonight we're going to go through the regional briefing for the volunteers for the 2013 Seattle FRC Regional. Just really quick, if you haven't been on one of these before, we're going to go fairly quickly so that we don't take up too much of your time. Your microphone is currently muted by default, and we do that because there are just too many people on the line to let everybody have a live mic. Feel free to raise your hand or type a question into the question box, and if we may actually unmute you to see if we can help you with your question. Okay? These slides and a recording of this presentation will be up on our website, and I'll show you how to find all that information in a few minutes. Okay. What we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the pre-event paperwork, the things that we'd like you to fill out, how to find your way to the event, where to park and stuff, where to go to check in, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's going to happen during the day, and find out what sort of things are kind of be happening and where they happen, and see if you can get an overview of what to expect. All right. So with that, before you arrive, we do have a little bit of pre-homework for you. There is a consent and release form and a conflict of interest form, and actually, now that I see the conflict of interest form, that's usually mostly for judges, I think. Or do we have to fill those out, Susan?
Judges and referees and robot inspectors. So yeah. Anybody that would be making a decision that impacts a team could fill one out. And if you're unsure, you could go ahead and fill one out, and we'll take it anyway. Okay.
And so there'll be links to that up on our website. Okay. If you wanted to fill this out at home and read through it, that would be great. If you mess up and don't do that, that's okay. We'll have forms. It'll just take you a few minutes. One thing that we would like to invite you to do is if you go by a different name than your legal name that was typed into the VIMS volunteer system, let Susan know about that, and we'll make sure that your name badge shows what you want to be called by rather than what the state thinks you are. All right. Some things to bring with you. This is a long event and a big event, and it'll be really exciting, but you are going to be walking a lot. So we really highly recommend being comfortable. This is not a, by any stretch of the imagination, a formal event. So this is sort of blue jeans and volunteer shirts. Please don't wear open-toed shoes, so no Crocs or Birkenstocks or sandals. We need you to cover your toes. Tennis shoes are a good idea, hiking boots, something along those lines. We are going to give you a wonderful free shirt. Yay. They're a collector's item. You get to take that home with you. If you are on the field, we've been trying to make sure that the field crew doesn't get too out of hand on their dress code, because you will be occasionally on the web and recorded, and the media will be there, and all of our visitors are there. So, we're not asking you to come in a suit and tie, but, please don't wear your rattiest possible clothes. We prefer that you, at least looked a little bit uniform like everybody else, okay? If you are in the shop or you're part of the load-in/inspection crew, you may be in the East Hall. The building will be open to the elements, so you might want to bring a jacket with you. Aside from that, usually it's actually pretty warm in the main building, so you might want to bring a light sweater just in case, or nothing at all. I rarely, if ever, wear anything. If you'd like to bring a reusable water bottle, you're welcome to do so, and we encourage you to do so. Put your name on it. In fact, put your name on everything that you bring so that we'll know whose it is, and because there's a lot of identical stuff kind of floating around. Okay. And if you're new to FIRST, we have this thing called gracious professionalism. Let me spend a sec on that. the way that this contest works is that we expect all of the students and to treat each other with a great deal of respect, and they're very nice to each other. Even the opposing teams are very, very nice to each other, and that sort of pervades the entire event. And so being gracious and professional basically means, you know, never demeaning anybody, never, you know, flying off the handle about things. And you'll find, especially if you're new to these events, it's really a very, very nice atmosphere to be in. So we like gracious and professional. We're always very supportive towards the students. And I say this because we are almost all volunteers. There's a very, very few paid people in the room. So if things don't work out, sometimes they don't. They don't always go as planned. Just roll with it. There's never a need for anybody to be upset at a first event. So if you're feeling pressured or feeling stressed out about what it is that you're working on, come find us, because that should not be the case. There are some exciting moments and such, and there's some of the things that some of you are working on are a little bit intense, but you should never feel like you're burdened or terribly frantic. If so, let us know and we'll give you some help. Okay? How am I doing, Susan? Anything you wanted to bring up?
Nope, you're doing good. Do you have access to the questions? It looks like we have an unanswered question, and I cannot see the questions.
It's from our friends Tom and Kathy Saxton. You do not need to refill out a consent form if you've already done Portland or Ellensburg. So if you've already signed one of those consent forms for the year, just tell the volunteer check-in people I've already done that, and they'll leave you alone.
And that's also the same if you're a team mentor and you may have signed an online consent and release form with the team in TIMS. That also suffices for the one-time consent and release form this year. Yep,
we've roped you in for the whole year on that one. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of logistics of the days that you're going to be coming. So the event is at the CenturyLink Field Event Center. And yes, we know the picture says Quest. They haven't reflown the aerial photography, but it's this building right here, CenturyLink Event Center, CenturyLink Field Event Center, and it's right between the two stadiums. There's a large parking garage to the right. That's a good place for you to park, so there you go. If you are from out of the area or not quite sure where this is, you can type this into Google Maps to find it. This is the end of I-90 if you're coming from the east, so you get to come to the absolute end of I-90, and that's where you need to be. Okay. The easiest way to get to where you need to be is actually, this goes across now, Michael, doesn't it? South Brome? Royal Brome, isn't there an overpass?
Yes, there is an overpass.
Okay. So anyway, find your way to CenturyLink Field Event Center. There's signs down there. I'll let you figure it out on your own. Parking. So we don't provide parking passes for participants or volunteers. And the parking area is run by private companies, and honestly, we have absolutely no control. We are at their mercy, just like you are. However, it's actually not too bad. It's $12 a day. We recommend that you use CenturyLink Field's garage. They have a multi-day pass that you can buy for $36 that allow you to come and go as you please, and that's actually a pretty decent deal. Otherwise, if you just get the regular pass, if you leave for some reason and come back, you're going to have to pay again. You're welcome to leave your car overnight. However, it is not a secure garage, so I wouldn't drive my Maserati down there. It's very close to First Avenue. The indigenous population are always seeking resources, so fair warning on that one. When you do, if you're coming around between the two stadiums, the normal parking, you go up this ramp here. And so you can see here, this is that ramp, and you're going to come in on the second level. And so you do need to pay when you enter. If you would like to buy one of those 3-day passes, they will be able to sell you one right there at the entrance. Okay. That wasn't so bad. So we've got you there. We've got you into the building. I'm going to give you a little tour of the actual event space. If you've done this event with us in the past, things are much different this year. We're really excited to be in what's called the WAMU Theater. The WAMU Theater is it's all curtained in with these really fancy looking curtains. So when you go in here, it's going to be very well festooned for first event. So we're pretty excited about that. It'll be bleachers on 3 sides, field in the middle. Okay. When you enter, and I'm going to flip back to this picture. When you enter from the parking garage, you're going to actually come in up here on level 2. And on level 2 is where you're going to find the volunteer check-in area up here. So you'll be coming right in off out of the parking garage. Right at the top of the stairs is where volunteer registration is, and you'll be able to get your pass and those sorts of things. And then you'll come down these stairs. These are the pits. This is where the teams are working on the robots. Each team has a specific pit assigned to them. We haven't numbered these yet, but we'll be doing that in the next day or so. Robot inspection and the practice field are back here behind a set of curtains. We have a public display area down here, scholarship row, and then, of course, the main field. So the field is in here. And of primary importance to all of us is this is where we're serving lunch, is way over here on the left. The volunteer lounge and catering is on the same floor as the event this year, so it is not up the stairs. There's plenty of room back here. This is volunteers only, so you'll be able to come back and enjoy a delicious breakfast with us. The event office is poking its nose out. It's if you've done it in the past, it's where it's always been. There's a semi-secure room up here. You actually go out the doors, and there's a staff-only door right here on the second level. And you're welcome to drop inexpensive things like your coat, but you know, don't bring your family's inheritance or your finest stuff to put on display in there, because while it is semi-secure, we can't guarantee anything. So bring as little as you possibly can. All right. So again, you'll be coming in, checking in, head over for breakfast if you're coming in the mornings. If you're coming on Wednesday afternoon, head on downstairs. We'll direct you where to go. The machine shop will be back out in East Hall again, so that'll all be set up on Wednesday. And I think those are pretty much the main areas. Pit admin is right here in the center. So we have tons of room this time. It'll be a good event. We're excited about that. Tom and Kathy are asking if you can buy the pass on Wednesday. I don't think so, Kathy. I'm going to say no, because I don't think that they're set up to do that, and I don't think Michael knows any different. Michael?
I don't know any different. They promised us they'd have 3 sellers out there at 7:30 in the morning so that we wouldn't have a backup, and so let's just go with that. Okay.
All right. Food. If you're volunteering for the whole day, we will feed you. We'll feed you breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Thursday, breakfast and lunch on Friday and Saturday. Let me take this opportunity to point out that we really actually would prefer that you join us for, we'd really prefer that you joined us for breakfast each of these days. What we do is you come in, you eat, you'll end up finding your group. All the inspectors typically eat together, all of the pit admin people and all the referees, and it's sort of a nice way for us to check in, have a little meeting in the morning to talk about what's going to happen during the day. There's a staff meeting at 7:15 for the key volunteers, and that usually only lasts 5 or 10 minutes, and they usually turn right around and go find their working group and convey what it is that we know about the day. So if you can, love to have you for breakfast. The concessions, in case you don't like our breakfast or our food, will be open Thursday through Saturday. So if you're dying for a hot dog or a pretzel or an extraordinarily expensive soda, you're welcome to it. It's a no-host bar, so you get to buy your own. if you're bringing your own food, technically you're not supposed to bring food into the venue. However, your volunteer badge sometimes will, you don't walk in with a Subway bag, but if you walked in with something in your backpack with a volunteer badge, they're unlikely to look. And so if you do have a restricted diet or some special diet that you need to adhere to, you are welcome to bring that in. The staff, the building will unlikely pester you. Okay. Pat is pointing out that last year we had free parking on Wednesday for setup. I guess we forgot to talk to Sam about that, Michael. What did we do?
Yeah, we did.
We had that by coming in the East Hall. Those that were there for setup, you had to come in just not really in the parking garage, but around the back side of the north parking lot.
Patrick, I'm going to make a note of this, and I'm now going to show you slides from a different presentation for just a second so that you know where to go. It is different this year. Remember last year we came around the north lot. And so if we tell you that you can do this, the load-in instructions are different this year. Load-in, we're not going around to the north lot like we did in the past. So if you are coming early, you're going to take the load-in, load-out route, which involves going between the stadiums. So you have to get off. You have to get off at Edgar Martinez Drive, come down, take a right on First, a right on Royal Brome, and when you're on Royal Brome between the two buildings, you need to go down this side road. Don't go up the ramp. Go down this side road, and you can see this arrow will take you down. This is actually a turnaround, and then you'll end up coming in the garage doors here. I will make a note by starting the email right now. And
I'm sending Sam an email. I'm sending him an email right now, Kevin.
Thank you, Michael. So we will have a clear answer for that for you. Okay. So back to our presentation. Hopefully that made some sense and didn't whiz by too quickly. All right. So checking in. Wednesday afternoon, check in when you arrive. Some of us will be arriving around 1, some of us at like 3, some of us at 5. You should, if you are field set up, you'll be there at 1 o'clock. If you, there's just a few people show up in the afternoon, pit admin, I think inspection people are showing up. I think like Darren and those folks are going to get there to set up. Most of you will check in probably around 4 o'clock, between 4 and 5. So when you come in, again, up there in volunteer check-in, on the other days, the doors open at 7 a.m., and so we'd love to have you come on in. First time you try and check in, it's probably going to take 15 minutes. The subsequent times, we have a scanner. You'll have a barcode. It goes really quickly. Please do check in with us, though, so we know that you're there, and we know what to tell the caterers for lunch. Otherwise, we may not have enough food for you. And again, please travel light. Don't plan on bringing too many expensive things. And breakfast in the volunteer lounge. Let's see, what's our next slide, and I'll let Susan jump in here and tell me if I missed anything. How am I doing, Susan? What did I miss so far?
You're doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good? Okay, good. Things that we do need you to do, though, is the gracious professional thing is really important to us. It is the reason that FIRST works. It's the reason that people keep coming back. And so there are a few things that we need you to be gracious professional about. Primarily, you do also need to wear safety glasses when you are in the pit area, which is this entire big square, including the practice and inspection areas. So this entire area over here on the right-hand side is all safety glass area. In addition, if you are around the field, and especially if you're going inside the nets, I believe that is also a safety glass area. So we kind of expect you to have them on. If you are working around the field, unique to this year's game is the, actually I'm going to get Darren's going to tell me. Darren, what's the throw? Is it a tomahawk throw? The Frisbees?
Oh, the way the kids are throwing them?
Yeah, the upside down thing?
Yeah, so what they're doing is they're starting out, the Frisbee is vertical, and they're throwing them, and then flipping their hand just right at the last second, and then the Frisbee's actually coming around and flying upside down, and actually kids are hitting the targets.
Absolutely. And actually, we'll get Kathy. Hi, Kathy, you there?
Yep, we're here.
So Kathy, who is a referee in Portland, managed to need ice and first aid as a result of a Frisbee hit. Thank you for taking one for the team, obviously. Do you have any tips about what you did after that? Did you change your behavior at all around the field?
No, the issue is that I need to be standing close enough to watch what's going on the field. And we all the referees learned to stand a foot or two back from the net because the net bows a little as Frisbees come. One of the other refs in Portland actually got his brand new prescription safety glasses scuffed with the disc that, went and hit the net and bowed the net and hit into his glasses. So safety glasses are good.
Yeah.
I just had one of those ones with the tomahawk style throw come and just fall onto the top of my head. And I just iced it a little so it didn't swell, and it was fine. I wasn't even aware of it an hour later.
So if you're around the field, nobody, and I think actually if you have one and would like to festoon it, I don't think anybody would be happier than me to see you wearing a hard hat around the field. So anyway, I'll leave it up to you guys whether you want to do that or not. The hard hats aren't terribly expensive. Noah pointed out that it's called a hammer throw, and it's ultimately throw. Pat, I know the kids are still allowed to throw Frisbees. So yes, it's an important part of the game actually. I don't know anybody's ever actually scored, but it's there.
In Portland, quite a few scores.
Were there? Oh, okay.
One of my kids hit it twice.
Oh, wow. Cool. All right. So the other thing that we find really, really important and a really big reason of why FIRST works is we're very polite when we're giving instructions to students and guests. And, it's fine to tell them exactly what it is they need to do. But if you always end it with a thank you and or preface it with a please, and people will respond nicely. So, and again, we're here to encourage. We're here to encourage them and to support them and congratulate them for what they do. So, it is perfectly okay to high five the students, even if they're just walking down the hallway. Yeah, why not? as long as it doesn't get in the way of stuff. So anyway, there we go. Let's talk about the general overview of the whole event. On Wednesday, the robots are and the pit stuff is delivered. So there's a very minor amount of inspection that's done on Wednesday night. If you're an inspector, Darren will go over that with you. On Thursday, the teams arrive in earnest, so we will get all 64 teams there on Thursday. They will be busily working on their robots, trying to get them to pass inspection. Many of them will have already passed inspection elsewhere, and so they'll be pretty close, and they will be out running practice rounds and fixing whatever breaks. And there's just it's a very, very busy day. It's a kind of a long day. We open the pits in the morning, and they don't close till like 8 o'clock at night. We'll get to that here in just a sec. Friday qualification matches are run, and those so we're running the game all day long. Saturday the qualification matches are run in the morning, and then in the afternoon we have the final rounds, and those are always pretty exciting. Okay. So on Wednesday, field assembly. If you're on the field assembly team, we expect you to be there about 1 o'clock. Load-in volunteers, you really all need to be there by 5. If you wanted to show up at 4, that would be great. 4:30, we'll get everybody sort of arranged. The teams will start arriving at 6. Honestly, a lot of them will be there about 5:30. If it turns out that we're ready to go and we don't have a reason to have them just sit out and block traffic, we'll go ahead and start letting them in probably a little bit early. It'll just depend on how we're doing on getting all set up. On Wednesday night, the pits will close at 8 o'clock. And again, they're dropping stuff off. The teams are really only there for about 15 minutes at the most, so it shouldn't be too bad. Everybody should be out of the building by 8:30. Okay. On Thursday, we call this inspection day. Those of us who have been doing this a long time know it is the last day of build season. The teams will come in with their robot with all sorts of stuff happening. Okay, so the volunteers, you should arrive at 7 a.m. There's a key volunteer meeting at about 7:15. And again, your area lead will turn around and tell you if there's any changes. There usually aren't. We're pretty good at running these events at this point. Load in for late arrivals. So some of the teams won't be able to make it on Wednesday night. At the moment, that includes 4 of them have pre-told me that they won't be here until Thursday morning. They'll be allowed to load in, drop their stuff off, and then leave back out with everybody else at 7:45 a.m. The pits are going to open at 8:30. We don't allow anybody else in the building on, the building is literally closed to everybody but volunteers and staff until 8:30. So if you're standing by a door and you see it's 8:25, no, you may not let people in. let us take care of that. Registration starts at 8:30. Machine shop opens at 8:30. All of the inspection appointments are available for sign up at 8:30. And I forgot to put on here, but at 10 a.m. or actually at 9:30 a.m. we're going to have the referees will meet with the teams out on the field. So we call that the drivers meeting. At 10 a.m. the field operations begin. So all of the referees and field reset people, if you're, the scoring folks, basically everybody who's running the show needs to be in position and ready to go at 10 a.m. There's going to be lunch. It's a long rolling lunch is what we call it. It'll start about 11:30 a.m. It'll go till about 1:30. Honestly, we're usually out of food by about 1, so I wouldn't put it off too far. The field is going to take lunch from 12 to 1. We appreciate your gracious professionalism by letting the referees and all of the field people, they may jump the line. They have appointments with the students and things to do, so we kind of let them get through the line in a hurry because without them nothing goes. If you're a judge, Michael, the judges' dinner's at 7 in Seattle, is that right? Do you know?
I believe that's correct.
I believe that is correct. So the judges' meeting, if you're a judge, is at 7.
And we will have the judges check in at the same volunteer check-in place.
So
they will get their shirts and badges.
Yeah, so we'd love to have the judges show up like between 6:30, somewhere in there. We'll get you all checked in. We'll give you your nice shiny new shirt. Okay, at about 7:40. Well, actually, at 7:50 the pits are really officially closed for us. It just takes us 10 minutes to clear the building. We tell the team 7:45. At 7:50 we start getting very pushy about it and start corralling people out. Literally, we want everybody out of the building at 8, and that includes us. We start kicking, aside from the folks who are there to help kick people out, we pretty much want you to leave. We want you to go home. We want you to rest. We don't want you to stay there all night. There's a very, very small skeleton crew that may be there after 8, but honestly, at 8:10, I'm gone. So, yay, that's a good thing. All right. On Friday, again, go ahead. Yep.
Hey, one thing about the judges.
Yeah.
Usually the judge advisor hands out the shirts and badges because a lot of the judges already have shirts, and so they don't get new polo shirts every year.
Yes.
So all of that's actually, judges should still check in at the registration table, but I just wanted to clarify they will not get their shirt and badge then. They will just check in and get their pin and turn in forms.
Thank you, Kathy. Yes, yeah, Kev is the keeper of the judges' shirts, exactly. And yes, thank you so much, Carlo. As you can tell, I've used these slides before. The Thursday, March 28th is actually the correct date. All right, I will get that changed. All right, Friday, game day. Again, arrive at 7:15. We have this key volunteers meeting. Today, the pits open at 8. And so we are going to let them in exactly at 8 o'clock. They all come stampeding in. At 8:30, we have our opening ceremonies, which usually last about a half hour. So we need everybody in place by 8:30 because right after opening ceremonies, we launch into gameplay. The game will run until just about noon, maybe a little bit after. The field crew, and again, for most of us, lunch is from 11:30 to 1:30. The game stops for lunch, the teams stop for lunch, and we let the referees and folks kind of jump the line again. 1 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. is going to be play of the qualification matches. At 5:30, we have the award ceremony that usually lasts about 30 to 45 minutes, somewhere in there. And then at 7 p.m., the pits are closed. And again, you get to go home. And it's the same deal. At 6:45, we start telling people they need to leave. At 6:50, we really start herding them out the door. Okay, not too bad so far.
Not too bad. I just want to mention one other thing. On Friday, we will have several hundred school students visiting to watch, and so we may corral some extra volunteers just to help manage that. It may not be part of your routine job, but just for that Friday morning, there'll be some extra very young people kind of running around that we want them probably to stay out of certain places and be smiling at them and kind of keeping them back a little bit.
And Susan just understated, because I don't know if she knows this or not. Okay, so this year we have Aviation High School, 400 students, Evergreen Tech High School, 400 students, Random Middle School, I can't remember the name of it, 200 students, plus the unknowns, which is probably another 200. So we actually have about 1,200 visiting students. Were you seated for that?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so
I hope all the volunteers are seated for that.
Yes, all volunteers, please be seated for the 1,200 visiting students. So it will be a very busy morning. Yes, so we will be grabbing as many people as we can to help out with that. So it's usually not too bad. The schools are coming, prepared to corral their students. What we'll need help mostly with is getting our constituents to move out of the way. So we'll have a plan. The teams have been warned about this. They know what's coming, and we will be taking enormous blocks of the seating areas and asking everybody to move out so that the teams can move in, or the schools can move in. Okay. Yay. Saturday looks suspiciously similar to Friday. 7 a.m. again, same stuff happens in the morning. Pits open at 8, 8:30 opening ceremonies, 9 a.m. gameplay. So gameplay goes until, depending on how we scheduled it, it was somewhere between 11:50 and 12:10. But immediately following that, we have alliance selection. So lunch on Saturday is actually going to be from about 12:30 to 1:30. At 1:30, the elimination rounds start happening. Also at 1:30, if you're on the loadout crew, will be helping to direct traffic and get people out the door. The teams, of the 64 teams, 24 of them will move on to the final rounds, and that means the remaining 40 teams are going to be loading out and getting all packed up and ready to go. So that it's pretty busy out there on the East Dock. Starting probably about 2 o'clock, it gets pretty busy. At 4:30, we're pretty good about hitting 4:30 on awards on Saturday because we have a fixed number of rounds. 4:30 we have an award ceremony, and then following that we start hightailing it out of there. So if you're on the teardown crew, you'll be working with our key volunteers to make that happen. We're actually extremely good at getting out in a reasonable amount of time. We usually schedule 6 to 9 for loadout. I think the latest we've ever been there is about 8:10. That was on a long year. So we're pretty good at getting out of there. All right. Hopefully that gave you an overview. There's a lot of details in our schedule that would just bore you to death. That's a whole hour-and-a-half meeting to walk through the detailed schedule. So we won't do that tonight. But when you do show up, your area leads will be able to fill you in on all of the things that are happening and when they're going to occur. Okay. What if you wanted to bring spectators? This event is free and open to the public, and so if you have friends and family you've been telling about this, we'd love to have them come down and see. Friday and Saturday are the best days for that. The best times are between 9 and noon or 1 to 5. If they only wanted to come for a couple of hours, I would recommend Saturday afternoon between 1:30 and 4:30. That is the final rounds. It's usually the most exciting gameplay, and the crowd is the loudest, and it is a great deal of fun. We are going to be streaming this live. There's a link on our website, firstwa.org. The front page has been recently changed, and all of the streaming instructions will show up on appropriate days. So the streaming instructions will show up on Thursday, and you'll be able to click a link and watch what's going on the field. Okay, so that's usually a very common question for us. For some reason, I have 2 copies of that slide. It was such a good slide, I needed to use it again. What do you know about that? Okay. All right. So we have a lot of these people. You keep hearing me say key volunteers, and we are blessed, by the way, in Washington State. We really honestly have one of the best groups of volunteers in the country. They are very experienced. They know what they're doing, and so if you are new to all of this, you're going to be working with the best in the country, in my opinion. So I wanted to make sure, though, that as volunteers we know a couple of the ground rules that exist. If somebody is asking you a question because you have a placard on, if a team walks up and asks you some question about the game, if they're asking you, is it okay if we do this or that, or why did that team do this or that, those sorts of questions need to go to a referee. I don't even answer the questions. If it's something really, really simple and innocent, I will tell them, I'm not giving you an official ruling, but this is my understanding, but you need to go talk to our referee. That'll usually take care of it, okay? But you are not allowed to make rulings or give teams, let's call it legal advice. If there are any questions about technical questions about the robot, whether they can or can't do something, whether if they're having problems making something work, the inspectors are the best place to go for that. They're all experienced mentors. They know what they're doing, and they know who to go ask, more importantly. So if somebody walks up to you and asks you a technical question that you don't know the answer to, tell them to go find an inspector, okay? The field supervisors are the ones that take care of the field, and they kind of run the show around the field. And they're part of the great collaboration between the QERs and the QERs and the FTAs and a whole bunch of other great people. So if you have any questions about what's going on around the field and aren't sure who to ask, that's the guy. Now we do have somebody called the FTA. That's the Field Technical Advisor. He's in charge of the game, and he's also the representative of FIRST. And Carrie Denherter is our FTA, although I believe we may have one other FTA coming from New Hampshire as well. But Carrie is our go-to guy for that. Okay. So our field supervisors, and first, I didn't have Pat's on the phone. Sorry, Pat. I didn't have your picture anywhere. I apologize. It's actually Ron Baker and Pat Severson. They are going to be our field supervisors. I'm pretty sure Brogan's going to be around as well. And these 3 guys have done this many times, and they're actually a lot of fun to be around, and they really know what's going on. So, so that works out really nicely for everybody. Our head referee is David Martucci. David's been doing this, I think it might be his 4th season or maybe 5th season. Yep, and he's a great deal of fun to be with. His decisions come quick, and they're final, and they're awesome. But he does it with a great deal of charm. So he's quite good at this. Is he sitting there, Susan?
No, he's not. He's actually out partying with Amazon. But
oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, he's a very no-nonsense guy when it comes to making his rulings, and he likes to make a decision and move on, and we appreciate that greatly. Darren G., who you heard a little bit earlier, he's our lead robot inspector, and he is in charge of all things Inspectee. And Darren's been doing this a long time and is really quite good at it. So those are, I just wanted to assign some faces to these nice folks. We have a ton of other key volunteers. Lead queuers are Ron Pankowitz and Chelsea Olson. Pit admin is it Cheryl Lomheim?
Cheryl Lomheim. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're not here with us today. And then we have tons of other experienced people. Tom and Kathy Saxon have been doing this a long time. And so anyway, we have a really great group of people. You'll enjoy working with them very, very much. All right. Don't want to make this any longer than I have to. So let me, I'll be ready for questions here in just a sec, but let me take this opportunity to thank you a great deal from all of the people that are in our FRC community. This program is truly an inspiring thing to be involved with. We are going to have a direct impact. Everything that you're going to do over the next few days, or over those few days, will literally impact 3,000 students over the weekend, and they are going to have an amazing time. They're going to leave excited. They're going to leave enthusiastic. Even the teams who came in last, you can hear them as they're leaving talking about what it is that they're going to do again next year. So our goal as a group is to make sure that these kids leave feeling extremely valued and really upbeat. Okay, and by doing that, we're really hoping that we can get kids to feel good about being smart and to feel good about the fact that they're able to solve the world's problems and change our culture for the better. Okay, our last slide. If you have questions about your volunteer assignment or anything volunteer-y, our friend Susan Martucci, that is her email address, and she will be happy to help. If you have anything else that's not volunteer-y, I am the regional chair for Seattle, and you're welcome to email me, and I will do my best to answer your questions. We really very, very much appreciate your taking the time to attend. All right. The slides for this, in case you wanted to get them and look through them, if you go up here to volunteer under webinars and Seattle 2013, in just a few minutes, actually in about a half hour, the slides and the videos will be up there. You can also find a link to the pre-release forms we were talking about, the pre-event forms. That is the consent release form. I don't know that I have the conflict of interest form up there, but I'll try and do that immediately. If you'd like to see the public agenda for this event, this is a document that FRC prepared, and it just gives an overview. This is just a one-pager. It'll give you the basic outlines of the schedule. You'll notice these are the public times, not the volunteer times, but this is what the teams have been told to expect. Also on here, you're welcome to go watch there's another page that has, I won't run it now, but this is a YouTube video that shows you what the game looks like and what to expect, and sort of this is what the kids were shown at kickoff, so you'll see what it is that they got to see to start things. And if you're interested and would like to look, or if you're a robot inspector and haven't gotten to it yet, you can check out the game manual and kind of look at the rules and stuff. You're welcome to look through any of this. Unless you're a robot inspector or a referee, we really, honestly, you don't have to be an expert at this game. So if you are a referee or an inspector, you will need to get some training on that. And if you haven't done so, you can get a hold of Susan, and she'll get you set up. Otherwise, you're welcome to poke through this stuff. You don't have to memorize all of it. Okay. All right. So there you go. And if any of your friends are signed up to come do this and didn't get a chance to see this tonight, this entire presentation has just been recorded for YouTube. All right. Susan, what did I miss?
Wow, I think you got it all.
Ah, the fire hose treatment.
Throw it out there, and you got it all except for whatever questions you're about to get.
Absolutely. All right, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to let them rip in the question box. Julie's got one. I'm going to unmute you, Julie. Oh, hi, Julie. Did you have a question?
I do. How do we find out? I signed up for several jobs to volunteer, but I don't know exactly what my role is going to be. Where can we find out what we ended up with?
Great question. Susan Martucci, our friend, is the one.
And yes, I can email Julie. Julie is a safety advisor, and I was hoping Julie already had an email that told her that. So
Nope.
if you didn't get that, I apologize. That went out last week with the volunteer info. I sent some separate ones, but I will send you another email.
Well, denial is good, you know. Is the safety advisor similar to a safety judge, or just?
Yes, you'll be working with the lead safety advisor, and they get dressed a little bit separately, not in a T-shirt. And they judge the UL safety events, and they work under the guidance of the lead safety advisor from
Sounds like
United
a great
Laboratories.
Plan. You know what? This is going to be fun because I work with these guys anyway.
Oh, great.
Oh, good.
In real life.
We have Dan again?
No, we do not. Let's see. The name is escaping me as I look through it right now. We have a different fella coming in this time.
Okay, no worries. Thank you, Julie. So anybody else have a question? Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to thank you all very much, and we will see you next Wednesday or Thursday. And again, thank you so much for signing up to do all this. And I'm just going to end the recording